there's so much hype shit on the market right now.
Yep.
And man, it seems like Michigan, like we got the sales, right? We're killing it in the sales.
No question.
We are doing the same shit that Germany's doing.
We have more sales by volume than California.
And way less population.
And less population. You know, of the top 20 brands in Michigan, only 6 of them are Michigan brands. And that's by volume, not by gram or anything, but by volume of actually SKUs sold.
No shit.
Only 6 are Michigan brands. So it's the MSOs, right? These other guys that don't even have a grow behind them, that have marketed themselves to the consumer, and the consumer has listened and responded. So we're like, us connoisseurs, right? These guys that are watching this podcast are guys that like care about the plant and like grow for the best ability and best flower or best rosin or best BHO or whatever. Like where they have that passion, when it's not about the money and not about the hype, and they're trying to build their own hype. That's what Michigan is.
Welcome to CLTV. My name is Rob, and today we have a brand new show, a new podcast actually. It's called the Stoned and Successful Podcast by me. And we're going to be diving deep into the community, the culture, breeding, all things herb in general, just deeper than I normally dive in most of my videos. Oh, and just a reminder, everything you see on here is Mullen or Props YouTube. It's nothing that you should be worried about. It's all legal and good. But before we get into the podcast, quick shout out to the brands who help this channel and also help your garden. Most growers are either running bottled salts or they're guessing with dried amendments, hoping that it works well. Stash Nutrients though, they're built different. Stash Base and Stash Bloom are dry soil amendments, and you top dress your soil, water it in, and let the soil biology do the rest of the work. Then Stash Blend takes it a bit further. It's an instant microbial tea, mix it in with water, drench your soil, and it helps unlock those nutrients even faster without the synthetic salt buildup. No complicated feeding charts, no chasing runoff numbers, just structured nutrition and living soil working together. If you want control without overcomplicating your grow, you need Stash Nutrients in your garden. Go to stashnutrients.com and use discount code THESTASH. Welcome to the Stoned and Successful Podcast, where we talk culture, genetics, business, and the people moving the industry forward. I'm Rob CLTV. Let's smoke about it. We are here with Michigan Matt on the Stoned and Successful Podcast. Stoned already, clearly. Let's highlight that part. Brother, it's good to see you, man.
We're halfway through.
Yeah, we are halfway through. So we pre-started a little bit. But it's sometimes you have to. It's been a while. Last time I saw you was your event, the Michigan Matt events.
No, last time was Mary Jane.
That's how high I got in Germany.
Yeah, we were in Germany together. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
So the whole time, what a wild scene,
dude. Just before we get into that side of stuff,
sure.
For people who don't know you, obviously they're not hip to the reality at this point, especially in Michigan, bro. Like, there's no other events that are popping like yours.
Thank you.
But give a little introduction to who you are. If you know.
I'm Michigan Matt. Let's see. Started growing in 2009, so I've been doing this for 18 years. 2024, we started doing, we did the first Growers Gala and just brought a bunch of friends together. I had a bunch of reps that I knew, had them sponsor, and this thing is taking a leg of its own ever since. Like, it's just been wild to just watch it expand and grow.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy when you see the amount of people who are in the culture and in the industry that meet in these places. I go to a lot of other events and it's just industry. You know what I'm saying? It's the brands that don't really smoke. There's a couple. You see high tech at everything. You know what I'm saying? But then, shout out to chocolate. But then there's people who they put the suits and ties there. And at your event, you can consume. So
yeah, we are consumption events.
Yeah.
Like, and not only, so we like put the liquor license into escrow, right? So we're not even drinking. And we took it over a music venue in Pontiac. That's been the spot lately. It's called the Crowfoot. And there's 5 bars in there. And so instead of alcohol, we have weed, right? We have dab bars, we have roll bars, we have 710 Labs, Wojo Wax, Exquisite Extraction, Superb, Apex. Like, those guys are like constantly bringing product and dabbing people out all night, or fresh rolling. Wojo does their Wojo donuts. I forgot what they call them. They're honey holes.
Honey holes.
Yeah,
that's slick.
So it goes with that, that bee thing.
Yeah.
But they're doing live rolls. So theirs is cool. You kind of get into a line. Everybody gets lined up. You get your number. With your number, you select your flavors. You know, I want this flour with this rosin. And then you get a number and you can walk away until the roll is done. And you come back later and you can trade your number for your roll.
That's really like a deli. That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope. It's like there's a lot going on. That's just the bars. Right. Then we're activating with many tables and vendors, and and all those guys are typically dabbing people out or doing rolls or like handing stuff out. So It's been a great opportunity for brands to get exposure, and I'm just extremely grateful to have the platform that we've been able to build.
Oh yeah, dude. I met you on Dude Grows show.
Yeah.
Shout out to the dude.
For sure, the dude. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Michigan, man. I'm like, Michigan? What the fuck do I know his? I'm from Michigan, man. Like, I don't like talk about being a Michigan grower as much.
Sure.
I was in the industry for a bit. I've been a caregiver and grower for as long as I can remember. I've been growing for 20 years myself. And it's just crazy, dude, since I was 14.
So you started a little bit before.
Yeah, I was a third generation grower.
Okay.
So my grandma's name's Rainbow, by law, legally. So it's in my blood. We're just stoners, man. So it's something though. I've seen this market evolve and the brands that have come and gone. I used to work for Carbodex. I was a director there, Franklin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And they've had some good product in the past. I don't know about now. I got nothing to say good or bad.
Fair.
But mainly because they come to your event. Mainly. Fair. But you see these brands come and go, and I think a lot of it's because they're out of touch with the market. Now, we kind of touched on Germany for a minute. I saw you at MJ BizCon and at Mary Jane Berlin.
Yep.
You've been traveling, getting out there.
Yep.
There's so much hype shit on the market right now.
Yep.
And man, it seems like Michigan, unfortunately, we got the sales, right? We're killing it in the sales.
No question.
We are doing the same shit that Germany's doing.
We have more sales by volume than California.
And way less population.
And less population.
Like they have 3 times the size of ours.
It's wild, right? And of the top 20 brands in Michigan, only 6 of them are Michigan brands. And that's by volume, not by gram or anything, but by volume of actually SKUs sold.
No shit.
Only 6 are Michigan brands. So it's the MSOs, right? These other guys that don't even have a grow behind them, that have marketed themselves to the consumer, and the consumer has listened and responded. So we're like us connoisseurs, right? These guys that are watching this podcast are guys that care about the plant and grow for the best ability and best flower or best rosin or best BHO or whatever. When they have that passion, when it's not about the money and not about the hype, and they're trying to build their own hype. That's what Michigan is.
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately for us, we're not on the map like California, even like New York. Even though New York's a new scene, New York still has that European stigma of oh, you're from America, California or New York.
Yeah, those are too big.
What's Michigan? That's what I got out there. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah,
people are like, what is a Michigan?
Yeah, is that the city?
Yeah, they don't know. It's wild. So it's our responsibility, and mine too, as a leader in this industry, is to push this Michigan scene into a different light and get us the brand recognition and exposure that we deserve. Because shout out to Growing Pains, right? They just won the high roller proper doings competition, right? That's a countrywide competition, and they just wiped the competition.
And
Michigan brand.
I'm not knocking that event by any means, but
no, I'm not either.
It'd be like me and you just start a show and
hey, I'm not throwing credibility one way or another to anybody else, but the fact of the matter is that a Michigan brand won that competition,
and that was huge.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
That is huge,
and it's their responsibilities now, as these leading Michigan grows, to get Michigan on the map more. Right?
I agree.
That's what I was going to. I'm not justifying the competition or anything or that. But I'm just making the comment of we have to get the scene in this state pushed into a different direction.
I think our issue, we're copying California.
Yes, that was exactly what I was supposed to go to.
Everyone, we don't have any originality here. Our original strains, we don't give a shit. Nobody's growing peanut butter breath. Nobody's growing anything from Gromer. That's not a conversation. We've got
we just talked about lands, right?
Yeah. Why did we go down to get a ridgeline cut to grow here? Why are we going down to the Zot Olympics? Unless we're going to do the Zot Olympics here and we're going to have bands there. I mean, I love Ty, I love the guys, but it's just a party, and it's just every event's just a party.
It doesn't get it right. My event's just a party too.
No, but that's what it's designed for. It's not a competition.
No, it's not. And that's my, so let's talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I know we're kind of not finishing subjects, but I'm sure it'll tie together. I don't do competitions. I've left competitions upset, and my goal is to never let anybody walk out that door feeling like they're upset that they lost something or they had a bad time, or my goal. I have 2 things the 2 pillars, let's call them. And one is always enhancing the attending experience, making sure that those attendees are blown away every single time that they walk in that door, that they're experiencing something different from the last time, right? We continue to innovate. Second thing is reflecting authenticity. And I think that's what we're lacking a lot. And that's that kind of copycat mentality that keeps happening where certain strains come into the scene in general, and then instead of us creating those strains and being those innovators, we're chasing the strains and going after what other people have kind of set the precedent for. So it's our responsibility to kind of get back to that, is like, and, you know, I did a long conversation with a guy last night. I'm going to leave him anonymous, but it's our responsibility. And I give him a lot of credit for this, for saying this, especially in his position. It's our responsibility to start breeding and to start creating our own.
I saw Chocolate talking about that, man.
That's who I was talking to last night. I was like,
beautiful. That's beautiful.
It is absolutely, he's absolutely right. And like, that's the way that we push this Michigan in a different direction, is like, it's not Lance anymore. We found Molly. No, that was a really bad example. Holy shit, really bad example. Mary.
Or, Michelle.
Or whatever, string XY, or GMO, right? Like, shout out Skunk Master. Like, sure, like, he's a Michigan guy. He found that. Yeah, absolutely is. He's at Hazel Park, yeah.
What?
Yeah, so shout out to him. Like, he's out there doing the burgers and stuff, but he found that GMO. We talked about GMO. Like, he found that and then has used those for projects. And unfortunately, maybe he doesn't get as much credibility as he needs, that he is from the state. And he needs to be pushed up there too, because he innovates all that gas.
Dude,
Keeps it alive.
And that's where you think that would be our flavor here. That's what I was kind of getting at with the travels is, you know, you think European flavors, there's going to be hazes, right? You'd assume, right?
More
you think East Coast, it's the diesels, because AJ and the history of the gases are out there. And you think the West Coast, maybe you're going to get into the candies, but there's still the gases. The Bay Area brings, you know, the desserts and crazy shit.
And I mean, you take it way back.
But we don't have any regional flavors anymore. And I think it's because everyone's copying waves, man. And if we create more originality, I saw Chocolate talking about, I saw a clip on Instagram. I don't know what, he was on a podcast and he was mentioning that's the next wave, is their focus is breeding, having a whole grow just for breeding. And I think that's the next thing, man. Like, work with breeders even directly. I know Scapegoat Genetics is doing a lot of stuff with Voyage Bloom. And that's how you get original genetics. You work with a breeder who doesn't want to go through a million people buying seeds through a seed bank and then risking this shit in November with the law changes. They could partner with somebody directly and then have a breeder's cut right there. Like, I mean, this only makes sense is you find somebody in your company who can breed for you, or you partner with a breeder. You have to have the
space and like the ability and stuff like that. And like, I kind of like, so going back in my career a little bit, I've been growing since 2009, and then 2014 I like started trapping hard, right? And 2018 the licensing came, and so I jumped in licensing. I've been a director of cultivation pretty much since. It just gives credibility behind like my messaging, I think, of what we're trying to do with pushing this other. I had totally lost my.
Well, you've been through all these waves, man. You've seen the God Bud and Candy Kush to the GDPs to, we had a craze of pineapple train wreck here for a long time. Like
lemon skunk.
The lemon skunk, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So many genetics that they were really known for this region. Even G13 from Ohio, like you almost needed to know somebody from these spots to get those flavors. And I think now we've got this, like the clone game, the cut game. So you can go online and get whatever the fuck you want. You could travel, go pick up from Green Dragon and go get Toad Venom. You can do whatever you want to do to copy it. But now you don't set a wave.
Not an originator.
And now you just have to fight in price.
Yeah.
And so who has the best price? Who has the best packaging? Like, this shit is fire. I don't know who did
this was actually done by Superb.
Superb crushed it.
Yeah.
Like,
and those at my event, like
Frost and Fire, Growers Gala right there. I didn't even realize the branding was there until after I sat here. I was like, oh. Dude, that's dope. But like, that's the thing that will set you apart. And I think the brands that are doing that, right now in the Michigan market, High Tech's been doing it for a while. Growing Pin's been doing it. I look at them like brothers. Like, their strains are the profiles are comparable.
Definitely.
They got something going on. I know the Refinery, I think they're collabed on there too. Yep. But then you see a 517 Premier with a kind of like a
gassy push.
Yeah, like a different, unique lean. Instead of saying, I'm going to copy the next guy. I'm going to have Sherb Cream Pie, or I'm going to have whatever. Toad Venom's going to be everywhere this next year in Michigan. Everyone's going to fucking have it.
It's just like we talked, the Lance just spread like wildfire. Like,
and then you're fighting at the bottom of the barrel, because it's like, who can have the cheapest Lance? Who can get it to a GLH for $60
for least? Yeah,
exactly. Definitely. And I think that's the race to the bottom is now we don't have the giant commercial brands that are killing us off. Like, what was that shit company that went out of business? $200 million they owed a Canadian company.
There's been a lot. The Pinkanian drops, right?
There's one of those.
C3.
Man, why can I think of it's not True Leaf? I don't know. And these are brands that drop the price down to, $500 a pound for indoor.
This is when things were at like $3,000 to $4,000 a pound.
Yeah,
and they were getting like
exactly.
500.
So it's like, if you go and spend 10 grand on this new hot cut, you've got 6 months to a year of being the leader with that.
Yes.
And then your price point's going to have to drop down and drop down.
Because somebody else has already done it, or they got ahead of you and they only have 3 months out now.
Exactly.
So you're not the first one bringing that to market.
And with a 30,000 square foot facility.
A lot more seeds too, right? And like, let's bump some of the more nostalgia, like getting back into some of these older cuts, especially here in Michigan. Like, we have a scene that's rich with cannabis history. Like, I started smoking in 1999 and I got Chronic for my first time in like 2002.
Chronic.
And it was DJ Shore's Blueberry, like the original Blueberry. And that shit was like, yeah, it was Chronic, but it was
Chronic.
like,
that was back in the day. Nobody
Chronic,
gets
but,
that reference.
you know,
It's mid or it's fucking brick or Chronic.
Or sometimes you would find green weed.
And we'd call that fruit or
That's
corn
like,
sometimes.
It was like a little bit it's still definitely still like brickweed, but just like a little bit better. It's not like compact. See, so you got it a little bit earlier. Yeah, no, shit was bad back then, right?
These
like,
people don't know what that shit is in this space, though. And I think
$400 ounces.
well, and that's the thing is the ones who the brands that are surviving went through that shit.
Yes.
And we saw the trends in the cash croppers and the people who were getting their cards early and were maxing out patients and having huge grows. And now we see like it's the same trend, but it's different. The difference is we can change it collectively. That unification, that
that's
collaboration.
Boom, right there, that word right there. So that's what we were kind of talking about too, was my events, right? I don't want people leaving my events upset or sad or like feeling like in a certain way. So we don't do competitions, we do collaboration. I want people to collaborate with each other and push each other to another level. Yes, we're competitors, but it doesn't mean we can't work together towards a common goal. Right. Exactly. And the common goal is it's a survival, first off, right? Like we've only seen the beginning of it, right? Like it's going to get way worse once federally like does whatever it's going to do and that shit settles out and the hedge funds decide to start putting their money into these things and buying conglomerates, like it's goodbye. Yeah. So like you have to focus so hard on being successful, building a good brand so you have your own consumer base. Because the consumer base, again, we're talking about people that you typically buy MSO products, right? So how can we break into that top 20, right? And if you do that, then you're surviving. So to do that, you have to set trends. You have to be good at marketing. Like it is what it is. Like take it for what it is, but you have to be able to market.
That's that's number one. And what keeps it coming back is the good product. No one gives a shit about your good product. It's going to sit on the shelf. Like
no, well, you have to market first.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't have marketing,
but if it's not good behind it too, then you're fucked, dude. Sorry, I don't know if you can swear. No,
fucking dude.
You're fucked too, right? Like, not only do you have to have this, but you have to have like award-winning shit still, right? Like shit that like smokes good all the way through and is like has a good resin ring, has a good ash, has whatever your fancy is for qualifying something to be the best smoke that you can have. Like. That's what you need behind the brand too. Now, once you have both of those things and your messaging is right to the consumer, then you pull that consumer base more. And where I'm extremely fortunate is I've been able to build up this event thing, right? Like, and I have 1,500 people coming to these events typically. Maybe 1,200 the last couple, but our Metric Mash, I think that's the first one I met you at, right?
Yeah, dude.
With the dude guys, with Dude and Grows. That was 1,500 people at that event.
That was banging.
Yeah, dude, Halloween event.
No drama. No issues. And I think that's the thing of having a bud focused event and not a bunch of alcohol. Most industry events, you have to go out in a little shitty area to smoke.
Let's talk a little bit more about what I do.
Yeah.
And how I separate myself from, I think, most competitions, and maybe Ty aside with Zal Olympics and Bring Your Best. He and I have a lot of conversations and collaborate with. Like he and I are obviously competitors, right? We both throw events. Sure, his is a competition, mine isn't. But in a way, we're competitors, but we're sitting across the table from each other once a month usually and like feeding each other ideas. Hey, you should do this and use this idea because it won't work in my shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, dude, or like I had the idea for the string quartet.
Yeah.
And I like floated that to him. He goes, bro, you have to do that. And I did it, and look how huge of a you were the right?
That shit was.
So we had the violins up and right, like it set the tone so much differently. I'm sorry, I got goosebumps. It set the tone so much differently that like the tone of everybody kind of was mellow. Like things moved a lot slower. Like there's more meaningful, impactful conversations because there's not this big blasting music in your face. Instead, you're got these violins that are playing Lil Wayne.
It felt like an art show, like a gallery, like an upper scale.
Which that was formal. That was Growers Gang.
That was a vibe, bro. Like that's the thing is themed stuff. You know, you look at Frost and Fire, like that had a whole different vibe of like almost like a
So
dragon.
let me give that one. Frost and Fire. Everybody kept calling it Fire and Ice, and Fire and Ice is the Game of Thrones album.
Well, and I was gonna say my buddy Nick, he's got a Fire and Ice. He's a part of the Fire and Ice brand in Michigan.
But Fire and Ice is the Game of Thrones novels.
Oh,
So I think that's what they were kind of more confusing it with, right?
okay. So that's probably why that branding kind of.
That's why I did the dragon, right? So in the Frost and Fire, we had this guy come out with in live carved. He's actually out of Grand Rapids.
That shit was dope.
He live ice carved an ice dragon, and then when he was done with the ice dragon, we had to shoot fire.
That was fucking
Like that was
dope,
pretty
dude.
sick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I was like, I don't know, this is gonna be lame. And then it was turning out really sweet. And the guy was like putting a show on, like dancing
Yeah, the
around,
music was
carving it, like,
jamming too. Yeah, dude.
that was fun. That was a good one. But even more, pull the curtain back even a little bit more. We're family all the way through that run that thing, right? So it's me, my brother, my niece, my wife. My mom comes and greets people. My sister's at the door. Her best friend's at the door. My brother's girlfriend's one of the waitresses. Her sisters are the other waitresses. Like, so we're all connected through family, right? And my aunt and uncles are coming in to help for this next one because we have art fair outside, right? We fly in my niece from California. We fly in my wife's niece from Florida. So we're like, and we're bringing all the family together to run this thing. They all
dope.
have the best interest for everybody. This isn't a corporate thing. This isn't anybody that's gonna be like pissed off because they have to work. This is my family that's got my back, and they have everybody's best interest at play too. So that plays into the vibe and the atmosphere, but the preparation that goes into it is another piece. Like, I'm a perfectionist. And I know perfection is impossible, but I know that I can still strive for as best I can to achieve that. And so every detail that goes into these events matter, from the food to the placement of the tables, to the sponsors that are behind them, to where they're lined up, to the bars, to the activations on stage, to inviting everybody, to sending the tickets out. Like, it's a very big process, and I undertake all of that on my own. When I have ideas, I'll float it by the family, like the main core, like wife, brother, niece, like the main core of us will float ideas together. But for the most part, this is all me, and I want the best time possible for everybody. And so, you know, long-winded. The big piece. This is important for us, and I think is what really sets us apart and has really helped us. Is that we have like 16 of us that go to dinner the night before. Right. We all go to dinner. We all have a nice dinner. And at that dinner, we all go through our worst case scenario. So call out the worst thing that could happen. And like, we got deep sometimes, like some hard shit to actually like verbalize, you know. And I got my kids there too. My 16 and 13-year-old, they're participating in this. And like, they're like, what if an airplane flies into the building?
Like, great, dude. Next.
Like, come on, man. Like, let's be a little bit realistic, but but go to that far end of the range where like the worst happens. So that way, when we come the next day, we're prepared.
Oh yeah.
Right. Something happens, we're prepared. We're able to be in front of it. We've talked about many things. Everybody has got their zones and their way to execute their zones. And so we take a lot of care into what we're doing, and it's not about the money. That's the other piece.
The money follows when you do shit like that, though.
It does. Yeah,
that's what happens.
Absolutely.
When you do the good thing, the money somehow does come. You got to be smart, do all this extra shit.
We reinvest. I think that's where some of the events fall short. Is we constantly reinvest into the event itself, right? Like the string quartz head, the ice dragon, the coffee cart, right? Like these are things that we're the food. Like these are typically things that we're feeding right back into the event to make sure that everything is smooth. Everybody has a great time. I think that's where other events maybe lack a little bit too. I don't want to call out one of the last events that I went to, but it was very obvious that they didn't put anything back into the event itself. And it just makes it look greedy. And like, it's not about the greed for us. It's about the authenticity. It's about the attendee experience, right? Like we tie all that back together, and that's how they've been able to grow to what they are.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's only if you get to a point where you're losing money that you really need to be like, all right, guys, what the fuck? We need to start charging for the hors d'oeuvres or something. We got to do something. But like in a situation like what you're doing, you're creating the perfect atmosphere to give brands activations, to give the community and culture a place to go, to party, to hang out, to celebrate the plant, and to not feel like you're being sold. The fact that there's waitresses that walk around with pre-rolls that aren't floor trim.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off. People just, and nobody tips. I'm always like, here's a 10. That's crazy.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
So that is one thing that we do love to do is give back, right? So we're constantly giving back. But yeah, you get those grabby people in there.
Dude,
I
they'll grab 4 or 5 joints. I'm like, what are you doing?
I caught somebody coming around the waitress like this way to grab. And I'm like, excuse excuse me, like
Animal, bro.
let's be civil. There's plenty to go around. Trust me, there's plenty for everybody. So just be patient and it'll come to you. You don't be all grabby and like, yeah, there's one thing I could eliminate. That would be that part of it. And like, I understand that happens. And if I ever get on the mic and snap, it's going to be because I saw something like that and I'm in a mood where I'm like, I'm not going to tolerate that shit.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to want to do that again.
Waitresses, right?
Yeah, it's like, family, dude. Like, you're not going to want to do these things again. You're not going to want to have these activations that people abuse them. And I think that's where the Michigan market has been. We've almost been groomed for the aspect of underground culture, right? Even when we look at Clio and you look at, I used to say Clio, somebody corrected me recently. Miss Clio, but Clio actually.
Fantastic time.
Dude, and it's like that, the energy that was there, it was like, this is culture, this is us. And then it slowly got pulled away. And then all that was left was these micro events that are always surrounded by a business. And I'm always like, what the heck? Like, I get this is what you're doing. You have a product launch, you have whatever, but no other brands can have activations. No other things can go on. There's stuff like, well, the ZA Olympics is a fun event, you know, bring your best bag, the stuff that Ty and them do. They're fun events, but that's all we've had. And I think that, and it's not knocking those at all. I think we need more is all it boils down to. And having these things going on for years, I've been wanting to do like a South by Southwest for weed. In the daytime, I'm doing my podcast. We've got like comedians. Dude Grows does a show from the stash. And then at night, just concert, music festival, you know, and it's like, Michigan has that area to do it. There was one that this lovely woman Connie put on years ago that had potential, you know, and it just did not register.
Well, don't think that we've hit our ceiling yet.
No,
right?
I don't.
With our events, like I've got visions and goals for much bigger things.
Well, and that's the thing, dude, is like the brand Michigan, Matt, I feel it can be bigger than just Michigan. Michigan is the culture. And that's what I think we need to work on first here is what you're doing is you're building this vibe
organically.
It's a culture that then can be, you know, taken in like, hey, let's do this like Secret Sesh used to be. Right? There was, again, these are great old things that were cool once upon a time that got so profit focused that just disappeared and fell off.
I'll be completely transparent. Like the Growers Gala did not really make any money. And because of that, I switched to food trucks this time instead of having food walk around.
That was so good.
It's 30 to 40% of my budget though, is that. So if I was able to cut that back and I'm still able to reinvest, right? We have a jam reggae band that's going to be playing. If you are familiar with the Dude Grows show, they used to play them. They were called Rastasaurus back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And now they're called Justice in the Limits. So they're coming out. They're like a jam reggae band. That'll be fun. But like, it's not like I'm not still like pulling money from other places. It's just like that was one piece of my budget where I could pull back just in case Blaze doesn't do good. And the reason that I was worried about that is let's take this back to and talk about this campaign that I'm running, this Fuck the Taxes campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's roll this back a little bit. So at Metric Mash that you were at, you know, I was fortunate to take the mic and just fuck the taxes. You know, it's like bullshit that all this shit's happening, putting people out of business and hurting everybody in the revenue streams. And we go on and on and on. We all know the details. But Growers Gala saw a reduction in tables and in possible revenue, and that was due to the taxes, right? Because the tax bill was now due April 20th, so people were up against it.
Smack in the face on 4/28.
Dude, and then the event was May 1st, so people were up against it. So I was kind of worried. So this event, I did this F the Taxes campaign where I gave any wholesaler, so any grow processor that wholesales their product that has to pay 24% tax, I gave them a 24% discount on their package.
Oh yeah.
So we were able to shifting the budgets around a little bit. Now I'm able to offer the brands something a little bit better because they're just as important as the attendees, right?
Oh, yeah.
Without them, things aren't going off and things are a lot slower than what they've been in the past.
There's no activation.
There's zero activation.
Right? Are you going to do everything?
Yeah.
Dude.
They still bring products, right?
Dude, and every booth has somebody interesting and has some conversation and has like, again, the activations for high tech were fire, man. You go in there, they had that globe.
That was sick.
And then they had like a ice bong, man. Like the whole process of walking through and seeing the different vibes is brought on by a lot of the brands. Like you coordinate to get these brands in here, but without these brands, and this is what I always say,
it's everything, bro.
Exactly,
it's a wheel, and like there's so many spokes in that wheel that if one come out, then it's not the same wheel.
That fucker's riding weird.
Exactly. So every spoke matters, but the whole wheel still has to spin. Right, because the sponsors feed the attendees feed me, I feed the sponsor. Like it's a circle that goes around and around and around. And as long as we can maintain that and maintain the quality, then we're going to be able to push this thing. And trust me, I got some really good ideas coming.
Dude, and that's why, like I said, I want to fucking help in any way that I can. Cause I'm like, I want this shit to stay going as long as it can fucking go.
Trust me, there's a sector of this that could be dedicated to a podcast type stage area, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely opportunity to push what I have idea wise and into your realm as well.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
I'm even
because
just what I'm doing of promoting the shit and everything on that end, dude. It's like, I want people to be able to experience this kind of stuff. This is the culture.
This is exposures too, right? Like by me being here, I'm exposing the people that are behind me that might not know you to your brand. And by me being here, I'm being exposed to people of your brand. This is the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like you have the NFL player guys that were like, oh, Taylor Swift. And then you have the Taylor Swifties that are like, oh, NFL. And then all of a sudden they're together. And they're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing. Like we're all
just cooler.
Yeah. And every brand could do this. Coke and Pepsi could do this, right? Like two brands can work together to lift each other up, to help each other survive and to be the
prosper, dude. Like the whole thing with Stash Blend is me and two other guys who we consider as competition.
Yeah.
They make very similar content to me. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up making a podcast together. We have a nutrient line together. We have a whole,
you never know what comes out of it.
Like, but it's like, and we get a little bit less percentage because it's all of us, but I'd rather have a small piece of a big ass Thanksgiving pie than a little shitty McDonald's pie.
That's well said.
You know, and I think that there's more opportunity when people collaborate, and I end up burning myself by trying to collaborate with too many people and they take advantage of my brand. Cause I'm not like, hey, I got this many followers. I don't like that shit, man. I like just being me.
I care about building things organically.
Same here.
Like, I don't want anybody following me that doesn't want to follow me.
Yeah, just to get something, to gain something. And it's like it's got to be a synergistic kind of thing and mutual. And I think that's that whole, the wheel analogy. And this industry could grow more. If you even have 10 big brands in Michigan that came together, they could be a massive powerhouse.
Absolutely.
And then there's no MSO that's coming and touching. This is the Michigan market.
Put our best five up against any best five, and we're going to compete right like neck and neck.
These Cali boys, man, like they don't understand. Unless it's your outdoor. If we're talking outdoor, it's nature.
Sure,
it's
they
you guys will fucking crush it, man.
Like,
indoor weed is indoor weed, man. Yeah. The tastemakers definitely are coming from California right now. It's only because the people here in Michigan aren't.
That's the difference right there. The tastemakers are out there right now because what happens with, like, we've tied this whole thing together. What happens with their genetics? They come here and then that spreads like wildfire again. Instead of us being the tastemaker and influencing those markets.
Exactly. The people like, this is Michigan bud.
No Cali person's ever going to look at Michigan and go, ha. I'm like, I want to be like them.
No,
right? They just not. It just, that's not their culture, and it's okay. But the fact we do that though,
we should look at them and say,
the Cali brand. Like,
no way.
Exactly. And we're getting to that point. But like you said, we need those powerhouses to lead that way.
Yeah. And I see again, man, the brands that are doing it, even with the company you're working with now, like you flip them around. Let's talk about that a little bit to kind of to circle this.
We still got some time. How are we doing on time?
We got another 10 minutes. Let's fucking do it, dude.
Good. All right. So I took over a facility. So I've been in the commercial space the metric space since 2018. It was my decision to go to metric because I was trapping for 4 years, driving from Ionia to downtown Detroit to get rid of my shit. Like 4 years, every other week. On schedule. I didn't want to look over my shoulder anymore. I saw this opportunity for licensing and like to be safe because I have a family. Like I said, they're 16 and 13 now, but this was 10 years ago, actually 12 years ago.
So they're still kids,
They were very small. So again, now I'm like a young man and I'm trying to like have that like piece of my life secure. I don't want those kids ever seeing me in jail or anything like that. So, went through the whole process, got the whole licensing thing. I worked my way through two different companies before I've landed on this third one. And we are called Botanical Greens. It is in Pontiac. We're the only grow in Pontiac right now. We're med only, so we're not subject to the tax. However, you can never find my flower because it goes to a flipper, and so there's this flipper that has now been created out of the 24% tax, right? Because if your med product can get flipped into the AU system, so we send our stuff to a processor who has AU, he flips it into the AU system, and then it's now under his name. Mm-hmm. So it's like he does whatever he wants with it. Yeah, there's no more Botanical Greens at that point.
Damn, that's why I haven't had it. I was wondering.
It's we got some here. I'll give you some, but
bro.
We have good flour. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll be humble about it, but we made the Olympics. So we're in that competition. So that's, I think, says enough as it is, whether we place or not. And that was like 6 months into my start at that building. And when I took that building over, I had Fusarium, I had root aphids, I had powdery mildew, I had just everything, right? Yeah. And in those situations for the first 6 months, it's patience. Like, you have to be patient, right? And like, to kind of tie this into growing a little bit, like when you have issues, they're not going to solve themselves overnight. Like, you have to be patient. Growing is always a hurry up and wait game, right? And like, the more patience you can have with it and like understanding, I think the better that you'll set yourself up in the future. 100%. Right? It like downed me for 6 months to go into a room, especially I brought my genetics in there, which is maybe a mistake, but I brought my genetics in there, and then they contracted the Fusarium, and I was following that for, like I said, 6 months. I'd go into a room and I'd like be looking at the plant, and like the lowers would start looking like HLVD buds, but they weren't HLVD because the plant wasn't reacting like that, right? It was still, the tops were still growing normal, right? You'd have nice top colas. You'd have nice long elongated fan leaves still, because usually HLVD, they get real short. It was watering like everything else was normally watering, because that's another sign, is they get really waterlogged. They just don't dry back like regular plants. So I'd walk into those rooms and it'd be so discouraging to like, it's here again,
motherfucker.
But now here we are finally on it. So now I'm 11 months in, and we have all the, like, knock on wood or whatever. We still have a little PM that pops up every once in a while. And like, I can see the Fusarium sometimes in the moms a little bit from time to time. We can still clone. We can start to clone out of that now. Oh, yeah. So we're to the point where like the tops and stuff, everything else that we take clones from are still really healthy. And by the time we get it into our veg, they're able to perform and take off like they're supposed to.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to get out there and check out the facility. I know medical wise, I'll just wear a whole fucking gown and all that stuff. Oh, bro. But it's like, it's not that bad. See it, man. You've been posting a lot of dope shots on your Instagram, man. Thank seeing Michigan Matt grows over there, the whole other side of things. Besides, a lot of people don't realize, again, you're actually in the nitty gritty. Yeah. You're not just the event guy.
I do events. Yes. Thank you for saying that. And like, for the longest time, I'm like, I don't even know if people realize that I'm a grower.
I don't think they realized, man. I think they thought you were just an event
coordinator. No, that's not who I am. And there's a reason I was able to pull the guys together that I did for the very first Growers Gala in 2024. Like, it was
you're
like,
in the field, you're in the shit.
I had 20 brands on that. Like, now I have 110 brands on the attendee banner, right? The ones where it's CLTV and like Nordic Scroggers and stuff right now. Back then, the first one had like 18 to 20. Like, it was, but it was all like all the big dudes.
But look how far you've come though, dude. It's like, that's where focusing on making things right, the event right, leaving happy. Yeah. People go, I mean, dude, I went to the first one and I was telling everybody, I'm like, yo, Michigan Mad events. And you didn't even know me. I'm like, this fucking, you need to go here, dude. Like, and I had no idea how affordable the tickets were. I just found out like last week.
We don't charge.
I'm just saying no tickets, but it's a free event, you know, to be able to go. And I just think that's the key thing, is to be able to bring people in, to be able to get the culture together, dude. Yeah. Brother, it's inspiring.
We push for affordability, but we also push authenticity, like I said, with the guys. But like, I'm sorry, we're getting back. I want to go back to the grow. The grow was, now that like things are spinning, now I'm like encouraged to have you out. Like, I'd rather I know you do like a grow tour and like do a podcast on it and stuff. And like, things are like really starting to come together. The crew, because it's training too. So just, do you have growers on the pod that listen to this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So just so you know, like, to give you a really, really quick 24-second overview. So, very first thing, the first day when I walked into that place was, first I talked to the staff and got the staff like on game, and I gave them my message and my mission of what I want and what I'm looking for. And I told them, and this is not something they were used to, that if I want you to ask me why we're doing things. Like, I need that personally to remind myself why we're doing something. But also, if I can't answer that question, we shouldn't be doing that thing. Yeah. Right. So ask yourselves why a lot. Like, why am I doing certain process? Why am I using this nutrient or this technique, right? Like, and if you can't answer your questions, then don't do it.
That's how it should be in life in general. You need to have the why behind everything, you know, and if you don't, you're just doing things blindly.
But the next thing, and I'll leave it with this, we'll wrap here. The most important thing that I did for the grow then after the staff was go and tweak the environments everywhere. Like, you can't grow a healthy plant without a healthy room. That's like, I want to put that on a shirt too. Like,
dude, that's like, number one. That's number one. Like, we put a plant in there.
Rasta Jeff, I give him a lot of respect. We were on Dude Grows together, and he said, "How do you know if you have Kobe or Jordan?" And he was talking about strains versus like B player. And my comeback is, How can you know if they're Kobe or Jordan if they're playing on a garage basketball hoop? Right.
Exactly.
Like we need to put the court around them still so they can perform at their best.
100%.
Right. So same thing with the environment. Let's put the environment around the plants to be in their absolute best. Once you tweak and get the environment dialed in, you have your humidifiers, dehumidifiers. Like, be careful of your tents when you're opening your tents and the outside air behind it, because that's going to come into the tent, right, and replace the air that's in there. So, environment, just be stressing that'd be the one grow tip that I'd leave with this podcast.
Dude, we're gonna line it from the stash. It'll be a remote episode until I get the boys here, and they need to come to fucking Michigan.
Let's go.
Troy's coming for Northern Scroger.
Right. So bring everybody else out for Metric Mash on October 29th.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do one. There's a lot of tips because the application of medical versus the rec guys that we talk to is a little different. So I think that'd be a nice episode.
I'm here for it, bro.
Fucking appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you having me out.
Yeah,
Michigan Matt 2 on Instagram, where Michigan Matt grows. I appreciate the community. I appreciate everybody that has been able to put me in the position that I'm in. And like, I'm extremely grateful to be able to do what I do and to be able to wake up and know that I'm in weed. I'm like dealing with weed. I'm dealing with shit that back in 2002 I was going to jail for.
The toughest day is still better than days in the past, dude. I say it all the time. It's like, fuck. Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Now, this episode made me think a lot about where things are in every state's market and about individuality and uniqueness that seems to be lacking in most places. And it's something that I think the culture needs more and more and more. We need places to be worth visiting. We need places to represent where they come from and the culture that they have within their sector, so to speak. Back in the day, we had all sorts of unique genetics from different places throughout the world, and now it seems like everybody has the same stuff. Now, what can you do in your state or province or country to make things more unique to where you live? Drop below in the comment section. Also, make sure you check out Michigan Matt's events, because I'm telling you, they are some of the best in the land, and your boy will be there as well. With that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Stay lifted.